Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're here for some more Princess Tutu, the second to last episode here today, and of course, very excited to be back here once again. Important stuff, pointy end stuff, big picture, I honestly don't know what to expect. It's gonna knock my socks off, I reckon. I'm very excited. So I guess I'll start with, why not 3? I just think that if I am to do 3, I'll be rushing. And I don't really want to rush. I'm really enjoying the show and whatever else. And again, next week with just the 1, it'll give me time to really soak in that finale and also give some final thoughts on, I guess, the show as a whole and how I feel about it. Could even get some fun stuff done, like some rankings of episodes and whatever other tier lists people want me to do. And yeah, should be fun. Next week will be a little bit more low-key if I am to put in, I guess, the 2 episodes here today. I'm told that potentially 25 and 26 flow more together from a story perspective, but like 24 on its own would be kind of lame. That's my intel, I guess. That's the reason why we've chosen this structure. Anyway, the one and only YouTube comment here today from Pencil Sharp. Firstly here referring to, I'd imagine, episode 22. Is called Crown of Stone, I think, which I was confused about the title. Apparently refers to the one worn by Drosselmeyer, which is his headstone. It's pretty good. Did I miss the cut at the end of episode 22 where his hand falls off? Yes, I most certainly did, and I have gone back and seen it, and now that makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, I had questions last week about, oh, well, why does he have hands now? I don't know. He kind of has hands, not really. They're not real. Nothing's real. It's all fake. And with this next point here, I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't get this myself because I kept saying it so much. Auteur. It's definitely auteur theory, for sure. So again, oversimplification, but Pencil Sharp's hit the nail on the head here. Single creator having complete control over work. It seems to be something that the show is advocating mostly against. We don't want auteur status as it pertains to reality. So it has its benefits in storytelling, of course, having a very solely singular work of somebody's mind, but when it extends out and starts affecting people's lives, potentially, again, we need to broaden that political system and make it a little bit less susceptible to one person's whims. How about that? How about that as some 2 cents there? I don't know. And then for contrast, you bring in Fakir, who is in conflict with auteur, or at least, again, there's a bit of a grudge there from his side. Fakir seems to be rejecting a lot of those principles, and if auteur theory is to create something that is entirely your own world, entirely your own thoughts, opinions, wants, desires, feelings, he's definitely using his power of storytelling in a very selfless way that is incorporating the wants and needs, goals of other people. Again, we are definitely casting judgment also in the way that auteur as a character is just kind of annoying and kind of full of himself. So again, maybe our creatives here don't have that high of an opinion of people within their own lives that potentially have some of these auteur theory qualities. Potentially they're not that fun to work for. Just a hunch. Anyway, that'll do it for the YouTube comments here today. And yeah, thank you for being along for the ride and all that other kind of stuff. We'll save a lot of that stuff for next week as well, obviously. But yeah, Patreon as well. Patreon shout out while I'm here too. So yes, I have a Patreon. It is linked in the description below if you would like to see last week's episode 1 week early. Wait, the last episode next week, 1 week early. That makes more sense. It's available to you. So link to the description below. Click on the link. $6 a month is all you need there. As well as getting Musume early, as well as getting Mushi-Shi early, as well as getting early votes and double votes in polls and all sorts of junk like that. Also, just in general, I'm more inclined to listen to you. So yes, if that's something that interests you, then yeah, the floor is yours. So a very big thank you to Sean, Ace Lightning, AJ, Akomancer, Astavid, Banana Rama Hamadama Sama, Botero, Brendan M. Gibbons, Brett Jones, Capella, Choberibi, Copley, Kyo Dynamic, Dakota, Dapper Dwarf, Diark Lord, Doke Hyo, Eclipsing, Ed, Eric Algelius, Fancy Question Mark, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloria Natenebre, Glyke, Hans Peter, I. Bailey, Ika, Iria, Yako Yavanen, Jacob R., Jeff Solis, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Lexi, Lick H., Lou, Lupe Ferrugia, Maddock the Doppelganger, Matthew Mortlock, Mickey Babbers, Miru, Mistake L. Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nature Without Man, Noah, Parnick, Pencil Shop 333, Pike, Rex 15M, Ron Led B&K, Saint Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Samuel Guerrero, SGM Janus, Shiny Haxorus, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Tobias Dahl Christensen, Waifu Overdose Without a Net, Binshi, Jami Boo, Kelvin, BD422, Fluffy, Matthew Bratcher, and Ren. Thank you very much for giving me money. I enjoy the money. And yeah, Princess Tutu. Where do I even begin? So last week was all chock full of confirmations and reveals and stuff. Drosselmeyer's behind it all. He is the storyteller. He controls this world, this town, this castle, this school, this everything. He has done so ever since his death. He had his hands chopped off and presumably died in the wake of that. From that point on, we've been stuck in his little game. He's been controlling everything. To that end, you would have to imagine that the prince, the raven, Rue, Ahiru, Fakir, all of these people are all characters within his story that are under his control. That has not stopped characters at various points fighting against that fate and doing things that are unexpected to Drosselmeyer, but that is basically the state of play and has been the entire time. As Fakir is honing his new power, because he is related to Drosselmeyer, he also has this storytelling stuff going on. Ahiru is lamenting her and uselessness before locking it a little bit more after a rousing speech from Neko-sensei. She then goes around and tries to find some heart shards. All I can focus on is how much that I can help my prince, help Muto. That's the one true thing in this world. The one thing that is just always with him, no matter what. So yeah, she finds some. They're in the various gates of the town, which is confusing to her. It's like, well, why are they here? She also discovers some weird happenings on, blah, 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 blah. We're in a simulation, Drosselmeyer's story, all that other kind of junk. Just as she's being a little bit too rambunctious and useful to Fakir, she gets trapped, transported away and brought to the place away from time. I don't know, it had a name. It's where Drosselmeyer hangs out. It's where all the gears are. Unbeknownst to Drosselmeyer, we also have Uzura coming for a little ride as well. From there, they chatted out a little bit. Drosselmeyer's frustrated that Tutu is going away from her purpose. He has a very strict plan for Tutu that involves her suffering and being in turmoil about decision-making, about confessing to the prince her love or saving him, or, you know, my beloved's going to be with somebody else. Am I okay with that? Tutu isn't really falling for that. She's a little bit too selfless, frustrating to Drosselmeyer. What Drosselmeyer says is, get back in there and do your job, or I'm not letting you back in there. Uzura, again, has other different ideas, walks away, finds this crank, starts reversing time. Very cool. And then, yeah, we see a bunch of flashbacky stuff for both Fakir and Ahiru that reframes a bunch of things and allows them to escape. And they both kind of solidify their motives and wants and needs and whatever. It's good stuff. That's not even mentioning, for a second, Princess Claire, Rue, who makes some huge discoveries during this time, whereby she isn't actually the daughter of the Raven. She was stolen away by the Raven. It was a trick. She reaffirms her love for Muto and the prince and what that all stands for, which is great. She also, again, before that, she has like Otto in the palm of her hands, but doesn't choose to go through with sacrificing him for various reasons that I went into last week that were all very good. I think that's a decent enough setup where basically now we're at the point where Fakir has unlocked a bit more of his power. Tutu's back in the real world. And I think we're going to focus on Rue and Muto. And Muto's turned into a bird. I forgot about that. I keep forgetting about that. Anyway, enough setup, enough dawdling. Let's get in here. Episode 24? Yeah, episode 24 of Princess Tutu coming right up. And there we have it. Episode 24 up there ready to go. 23 minutes, 56 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the official version. Get that version if you would like my version. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Grave? Book. Once upon a time there was a man who died. Yeah? Sure. Sounds like a curse. It's an interesting proposition. Like, the Ravenham is using the prince there as, like, and his inherent quality of being lovable and people surrounding him as, like, bait. Like, okay, if I stick around this guy, then I'm gonna find, like, a lot of, like, sustenance and people to pick away at. Yeah. And then, of course, okay, well, what's the end result there? Well, I picked the best of the bunch. I picked the prince's heart. It's weird that that little story there almost operated is somewhat of a recap as well. It's like, yeah, there was a man who died as well. Make sure you remember him. He's very important. There he is. And then going into the Raven stuff. Like, I'm just trying to create a hierarchy here. Like, the characters are fighting against Drosselmeyer, obviously, but, like, can the Raven in its own way as well? Dunno. Was it too attached to the status quo? Too stuck in its ways? Okay. Straight after last episode, and she faints. And becomes a girl, not a duck. I'm rewriting the Monogatari. Okay, so it's still got room. You sound weirdly into that. I don't know about all that. Oh, hello. Okay, so she made her way down. She was stuck at the top of the tower, I remember. Dance Macabre. Huh. Wonder what that means. Do you have more inherent passion for her than Muto? Why? What could possibly be the purpose of that? She's always just hanging out, huh? Sealing away the Raven. Oh yeah, you restore the heart, Muto's heart, you restore the Raven. Yeah, gotcha. Well, you seen him lately? I wouldn't rely on it yet. There she is. Bet she's super normal. Doesn't look likely. Where's my bird boy? Oh, he's like a monster. Yeah, dude. Now, once again, there's a certain subset of people that would be really into this. Kind of wish his voice was different. We shouldn't eat rats. Okay. Okay. Let us dance the dance macabre. Ooh. Settle down. Oh. Love the music here. He seemed kind of bored. Okay, and that's where we like enter the story. Well, depends on your opinion, I guess. It's not that she wasn't Crare, it's that Crare wasn't what we thought it was. But Ruchan is Ruchan, for sure. Why would I think that? No, not if I'm there. I've got some practice in stopping people giving their hearts to the Raven. Well, you gotta go, though. Gotta have a go. That's what Drosselmeyer wants. Very smart show. Oh, hang on. Run away, Ahiru. Alright, you're being really smug now. Get out of here, you old geezer. Do. He's just found out it's all real. We're running out of time. Ah! You're going to stop being Ahiru? Myself is inside me, true. Oh! Hello! That was very clever. Oh. Oh. It's interesting, right? Because in order to restore him, I need to not be Tutu, but then who's going to save him from giving the heart over to the Raven? It's almost like there's going to be a battle within his heart itself. Sick. Yeah, but I'll still be a duck. Well, now you can't do that. You made her cry. Ruin the reveal. Okay, he's still in agony, true. The agony that makes you want to pirouette. And prance. Sup? Where are we? Oh yeah, okay. Ugh. Dances towards you menacingly. Very recognizable piece of music, isn't it? Look at you. Ugh! Is that an ostrich in a hoodie? See the pattern on that door? By locking in. Oh shit! Look at him go. He's addicted to dancing. Very smart show. Okay, there's one gate. Just playing a goddamn Ubisoft game. Collect all those towers, baby. Reveal the map. Use Tutu vision to find your next location, your next objective. Not yet, there's still one more. Find a way to lift the curse. Fakir? Yeah, that guy. We forgot about that guy, didn't we? No, I don't think I will. Yeah, who are you? Yeah, you're not my dad anymore. Drinking my blood? She's doing it, everybody. Episodes and episodes of build-up. I know you promised, Tutu, but... What is happening? Okay, I think we won. The power of love? Nah, she's down there. A different love saved the day. And now she just got eaten, so... less than ideal. Really? God, that went quickly there at the end. Alright, so I'm a little bit confused on the details. I thought that Tutu had a heart shard. I thought that all the heart shards needed to be restored for the Raven to be freed. Did that happen? I don't think that happened, because she's still Tutu. Anyway, it's no biggie, it's just a little bit odd. Anyway. And then it's like, okay, I promise not to give that final shard until the Raven's curse is broken or something. But then it seems the seems the rue's just been taken anyway, so... What was the whole thing we always needed to satiate the Raven? It was a pure young heart of love or whatever. Well, there's Rue. It's about as pure as you can get, right? Good episode, needless to say I need to hash out the details, I guess. Really like the Azura Edel stuff, that was strong though, for sure. Thank you, Tutu. And we'll pause right away. Don't show me any more of that. So yeah, you will see me in a second for episode 25 of Princess Tutu. And there we have it, episode 25 up there ready to go, 23 minutes 56 seconds on it, same version as last time, picture in picture in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed. Blood on the page. Also true. However, doing blood magic. So the story that he wrote was a story about a man who writes stories about, like, after his death? Storyception or something, I don't know. Guess that makes sense. Why the Princess and the Raven is allowed to perpetuate. So upon thinking about it, we had those 5 shards. We had one of the guys come out and he's like, now don't you give that last heart shard over until the Raven's curse is broken. And she hasn't. So that's why he's like booking it over to the Raven, right? Okay, I'm going to give the Raven my heart right now. Even though it's not complete, it's still... It's almost at that breaking point where he's just so entirely committed that he's just about to kill himself, basically. And then it's the love of Rue that breaks him out of it. Which is great. I love that. That's a good application of your power of love type stuff. So that's hitting a bit better now, I think. So we've still got that final ace in the hole, which is, of course, Tutu sacrificing herself, essentially, going back to being a duck. Upon, you know, giving the final heart shot over. But then what's Fakir doing? He's just confused. Oh, that's great. Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's almost like he wrote that scene for Tutu, but then she didn't do it. Romeo and Julia. The Dying Swan? Well, the Dying Swan doesn't bode well, now that I think about it. Made him a little crown. That's adorable. I don't know. See, it's like their dynamic from way back. See? Yeah. Good line reads there, too. Shout out to Nana Mizuki, man. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. You're weird as hell. Okay. So you're a coward. No, thank you. And you have bad breath. Alright, he's like beast mode now, though. Whoa! Okay, I'm recording. I was scared there for a moment. Ooh. Oh. Damn. It's got to be a confusing set of emotions for her, huh? What? Won't come off? Drosselmeyer? Stinks a Drosselmeyer. Raven Rain. Wait, was this an armistice? You can do that? Okay, fanboy. I'd stay inside. That's some Raven Rain, alright. Sick. Most certainly is. Oh, who's that? That's great fun. Hello, Azura. Thoughts? I guess she's unaffected. You know, being a weird puppet and whatever. Yeah, why isn't it coming off? Yeah. That guy. Well, you pause time? What's up? Nisemono. You're trying to be responsible. You did write freely about Ahiru. You were just inside the entire time. Zetsubo Lake. This is a crazy scene. Yeah, but what about Ahiru? Did she drown? I hope not. Follow my drum beat. Ah. Didn't bode well. I think we saved her in time. It's like the intro. Oh my god, shut up. No, it isn't. Yeah, punch him. Break his fucking glasses. Nerd. Seems pretty chill. Okay, fanboy. Useful. Being useful. Hooray. There's a gorgeous scene there too. Quick, she's drowning. Come on now. The dying swan. Stage setting? I feel like you're being mind flooded by that guy. What if you had a different, better prince? What about that? Oh. Whoa! Easy. Yeah, but what about the other part? Alright. Shut up, Drosselmeyer. Oh, weird. It's like he's fucking Gear Realm. She's just dancing in the stomach. As you do. Trust the drum beat. Let's go. Kinda. How so? Well, you've done it twice already. Yeah, she's not ready. She doesn't want to let go either. I will. She's just the best. Seems counterintuitive to transform again, but sure. Are you going to make that flower bloom? Did Fakir the storyteller here too? I've returned a lot of feelings to you. Oh, see, it's like the... Yeah. See, it's a metaphor, chat. Alright. Easy does it then. That one went down a treat. I'm just a duck. Yeah, I mean, the stage is set, buddy. Okay, his costume's sick. Two birds meeting there's interesting. And that's where we're left. No. He's coping. He's like... Why did he say all that? That's not real. It's not true. That was very good, obviously. Very, 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 very good. Once again, I feel like it's just going to shine on the rewatch now that I've, like, fully set up, like... I know what's happening. Cool. I was hitting the nail on the head last week when I'm like, okay, well... Drosselmeyer wants to keep it in, like, this perpetual state of, like, suffering for everybody, so the story has no, like, resolution. Has no reason for anybody to get over anything, and they can all just stay in stasis, basically. Because he doesn't want to let go of this story, because this story is his grip on reality as well. So, if the story stops, he ceases to be a god. You can literally see him there, like he comes in, he's like, hey, Fakir, write this, quickly. This will help me retain control. Because he's consistently betting that people will stay true to their characters as he wrote them instead of evolving, which they have. It's essentially the point of the show. And I reckon you could go through one by one of each of the main four now, and they've all defied what, you know, Drosselmeyer laid out their role as to be. You know? They did it. Our heroes. And of course, no next time on. What are you, crazy? Come on. Look at this showdown that I get to see next week. Very epic. But that's a job for next week, of course. For now, we're going to analyze those 2 episodes. And for now, I mean tomorrow. And you'll see me then. And we're back. It's the next day. 2 more episodes of Tutu in the books. The penultimate episodes, you would say. Only 1 to go next week. And yeah, I was quite satisfied with them. I think they did a really good job. I'm keen to... I can only imagine my opinion goes up more upon this rewatch, where I can now set expectations about what is happening and get a better, firmer grasp on everything too. I'm going to imagine there's going to be a few moments where I'm like, oh, right, that makes perfect sense. Gotcha. Like a whole lot of that kind of stuff, I think. That's on the agenda here today for sure. But it's weird as well. A lot of the things that happened were things that I was thinking would happen regardless. Like, again, I thought that Ru and Muto may end up being a thing more than, you know, Ahiru and Muto. We were already pretty sure about the Restore the Heart, the kind of Raven comes back, that leading to the climax type idea. Like, that's pretty well set up as well. And I think I've said this before about the series. This isn't like a diss. To create a story where I have a set of expectations about what I think's going to happen and following through on that because it makes sense is great. That's what you want, right? And yeah, in broad strokes, it all just fits. It fits perfectly. I'm very keen to see the finale. I think, yeah, once you get to the nitty-gritty a little bit more, that's when I'm going to be like, oh, yep, gotcha. I see exactly what you're trying to do. But I mean, stoked for Ru, for sure. Stoked for Ahiru, in some parts. Ahiru did what she ought to do, right? Like, she resisted her fate and the temptation put in front of her by Drosselmeyer. I think there's a really interesting part in the second episode we watched, where it's kind of both Drosselmeyer kind of flailing and floundering a little bit, trying to find a way to fix things again, because he's like, oh shit, oh no, oh fuck, I'm about to lose. He then goes to Ahiru and like almost fills her head with certain ideas so certain things can't happen. Like that necklace doesn't come off. Even though, again, in her present mind, right at that moment, she is willing and able to pull it off. But then she kind of doubles back on it and blah, 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 blah. Point being, how much of that is Drosselmeyer? How much of that is genuine Ahiru emotion? I think we'll never truly know the split there. And I think that's kind of interesting too. Was there some part deep down where Ahiru still didn't want to let go of Muto? And what that all meant as well. Was she merely putting on a brave face, and did Drosselmeyer see deeper? Or did Drosselmeyer just write some bullshit? Just so, you know, to just perpetuate things and keep it going. How much of the character's actions in this show overall have been pre-planned, preordained, fate per se? How many have been original thoughts driven by, you know, the actual character? We'll never know, right? It's kind of fun to speculate. Right? Anyway, I should get a wriggle on. I'm sure I'll have plenty to talk about. First up, we want to talk about the Danse Macabre, which is the kind of intertextual piece, I guess you would say, for episode 24. Now, specifically, and we'll get into it, it's most likely this, the symphonic poem for orchestra written by the French composer Camille Saint-Saëns. Nailed it once again. But I think starting here as a concept is probably most wise before going into the specific piece of music, which is very famous. It's the it's like that one. You've heard it a million times. Like, I didn't know the name of it, but I've definitely heard it before. Anyway, the Danse Macabre, also known as the Dance of Death, is an artistic genre of allegory from the late Middle Ages on the universality of death. In summary, you'll generally see many people from all walks of life all dancing along towards the grave. You know, everybody's gonna die. It's the thing that unites all of us, right? Again, religious subtext, blah, 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 Middle Ages kind of code of ethics stuff in there as well, and what's important there. But yeah, everybody dies the same way, and we're all dancing along with that same tune along to our death. Pretty cheery stuff for sure. Now, how does this overall connect to Princess Tutu? Well, I think a number of ways. I think first and foremost, we have a character that is cheating death, a character that is existing beyond their means, that should have died. Once upon a time, there was a man who died a very long time ago. And he's not following this rule, this universality of death. So again, at this moment in the narrative where that's kind of breaking for him and he's losing his grasp, playing the Dance Macabre is kind of ironic for Drosselmeyer. Kind of like it from that perspective. Now over here in the actual musical piece, according to legend, Death appears at midnight every year on Halloween. Death calls forth the dead from their graves to dance for him while he plays his fiddle. His skeletons dance for him until the cockerel crows at dawn, when they must return to their graves until next year. So this makes me think of some other stuff. Who is like rising from the dead kind of in episode 24? I would say the Raven, right? Like he's just for one night a year, on Hallows Eve or whatever you want to say, he's up and about again, regaining power. There's even a little bit of, like corruption of everybody else in town along with that. There's that rain and then everybody turns into ravens as well. That's kind of like bringing forth this like army of the dead to dance along to my tune. I think they literally dance it at one point, I'm sure of it actually. But once again, what's important here, it's the finality. The cockerel crows at dawn. There is an end point to this, there is a light at the end. The heroes will win one day. For sure, for sure. That's kind of what we're saying there. It's also this as well. The piece opens with a harp playing a single note, D, 12 times, for the 12 strokes of midnight, right? Has there not potentially been a theme of time and time manipulation and clock towers and whatever else involved in Princess Tutu? Once again, I just really think it's an apt piece, a very famous piece for this climactic section. And yeah, there's lots of room for expansion of stuff off of that as well. Like, it's a very long Wikipedia article, so there's a lot there to dig into for sure. And for episode 25, we go back to the well on Tchaikovsky with his rendition of Romeo and Juliet. Now, we previously did this for the love theme specifically earlier in the show, so I think this is more just the overall piece, which is a 19-minute overture, which again, I'm not going to explain Romeo and Juliet for you, right? It's, two young lovers, star-crossed from different families that are forbidden to be together, but somehow come together. Love triumphs all. I think this is working for both, Fakir and Ahiru, a little bit for sure, as well as mainly Muto and Ru, you would say. The Prince and the Raven, the Montagues and the Capulets, right? I know Muto isn't anybody's son or daughter or anything, but still, it kind of works there, right? Kind of Fakir and Ahiru, it's a little bit more of like an enemies to lovers thing, I guess you would say, because they started off adversarial and definitely on different sides, you would say. The Tutu side and the Fakir side definitely differed in their motivations early, them coming together, evolving, almost they're their own next generation and they're falling in love here. Something like that. That's an analysis. Let's go with that. What else do we know about Romeo and Juliet? It ends in one of the characters taking their own life. I don't know. Just keep it in mind, I guess, when Ahiru's like, bye-bye, I'm going to turn into a duck now. Are we going to succumb to the fate of the Shakespeare, of the tragedy? Or are we going to grasp for something a little bit more, break that fate, and have a happy ending with Ahiru? I certainly hope so. But I mean, I think Fakir seems pretty on board with the whole thing regardless, so maybe he's just into ducks, I don't know. Either way, I've got my work cut out for me if I was on the right screen. Now I am. So I better get a wriggle on, better see what I can see, and I am bound to miss things. I'm sure of it. So get them comments going too if you feel so inclined. Once upon a time there was a man who died. The story the man wrote was about a happy prince who loved everyone and was loved by everyone. The people fought, each wanting him to love them and them alone. And an evil raven pecked at their loving hearts one after another. The more the prince loved them and tried to save them, the more the people's love just fed the raven. In the end, the raven thought, I'd like to try eating the prince's heart, the most delicious one of all. Which is kind of what happens towards the end of this episode in its climax. Once again, this is kind of the theme of these two episodes in my view. It's like, okay, we're laying everything out for you. Yes, this is what was happening the entire time. So Drosselmeyer's plan for the story, the man who died, the man who wrote this damn thing, was to create the prince, who is like this prize almost. He's this guy that everybody wants to be with, and he's just so perfect and awesome and everything. We've seen Ahiru, Fakir, and Ru at various points in the narrative try to possess him. Ahiru, it's kinda but you know what I mean. This was Drosselmeyer's plan the entire time. That's what he wanted to occur. He wanted the conflict there. He wanted the perpetual conflict there to keep his story going. You know, the worst thing that can happen for him is an ending because he loses control. And weirdly enough, the whole time we're also powering up this Raven guy whose, power and thing holding him back seems tied to the prince's heart. So anything that happens there is also going to happen over here. We're, kind of mirroring each other like that. It's also the structure of the show as well, whereby we've been getting all these heart shards. We've been collecting these heart shards over and over again, collecting love from other people for Muto, enhancing his heart ever more to the point where it's like, he's got the bestest heart. And again, that'd be all well and good without this Raven's blood in the equation, which, turns him all crazy. It grows in power as well as you do, After the opening, we're back with Otto, who finds Fakir and Ahiru in the wake of episode 23. He's really annoying. That's my 2 cents on Otto. I think he's supposed to be. I think he's meant to be a bit of a brat and a bit of a know-it-all and a bit of a punching bag. He definitely succeeds in all three of those things. He is sympathetic, though. I was with him with the kind of ruse stuff that he was doing a couple of episodes ago, for sure, so he's an okay character. This is an interesting question, too. It's a little bit chicken or the egg, if you wanted to be so specific. Is Fakir's power fate-altering, or is it premonition? Are the things that he's going to write down things that were just going to happen in reality anyway? Is he controlling it or merely, seeing it before everybody else? Or is he literally, can he write something that changes fate and changes reality? And then Otto returns, he's like, well, it's both. If your power is immature, of course it will be swayed by reality. But if your power is mature, like Drosselmeyer's, you can bend it to your will. If anything, that's what's happening during that weirdo tree stuff a few episodes ago now when he's honing in that power. He is literally in conversation with, reality itself, with the natural order, and he's in an arm wrestle almost. He's like, am I in control? Are they in control? Am I in control? Are they in control? Weirdly enough, he was going to lose himself, but Ahiru was the thing that brought him back. This is a thing that will unite a lot of Fakir's scenes in this, where Ahiru seems integral to his power and its activation. Watch it every single time he writes. It's about Ahiru. It's got to come from that place of passion almost. That's definitely my read. For sure, for sure. Fakir ponders here. Why was it so easy to write a story to save her, to pull Ahiru out of her prison dimension. and I can't write something to save Muto right now. Maybe you have a different set of feelings for Ahiru as opposed to Muto. And think about how much you like Muto. Huh? Maybe you like her just a little bit more. It definitely is a lovely writing decision that at the end of this episode, these two trying so very hard, everything within their arsenal to save Muto, only to be one-upped by ruin that endeavor, only to be one-upped by something so plain as pure love. I think that's really beautiful. I like that a lot. What do we make about Fakir burning the story immediately that he wrote for Ahiru? What is that meant to say? Was there something in it that he doesn't want her to read, or he merely just says that the story's over now and we should get rid of it? Better to be safe than sorry when it comes to stories within this town? I just think Ahiru would have liked to read it because she would have liked to read one of Fakir's stories about her. I think it would have been revealing about things, maybe. I need to turn off my shipper brain, maybe. Just for a second. And get to the meat here. So through the course of this episode, we end up learning that, Princess Tutu herself has been one of Muto's heart shards the entire time. Thinking back now, that was pretty obvious. We'll get into the nitty-gritty on that a little bit later. This confused me, because we say this very early, and now this is obvious, right? The 5 gates are the things sealing the Raven. That is true. The 5 gates go, Raven spawns. Fair enough, fair enough. I always thought that it was as soon as the prince's heart is fully restored, that's when the Raven comes back. I guess I must have just misinterpreted that, and it kind of led to a bit of confusion during the finale. But that's fine. You just got to learn to read. Do love this moment here too when Ahiru runs away, where she says, with this and that on our side, and your ability to write, Fakir, your ability to save Muto with your story, we'll be fine. There's a flinch, there's a hesitation from Fakir. Again, he's not fully confident in that side of his abilities yet, but he doesn't want to tell her. He doesn't want to, take away that shine from her almost, I would say. That's really, yeah, really selfless of you, I would say. But also, once again, a little bit too selfless, a little bit like Prince-like selfless. You should be able to vocalize when you're having a problem like that. Oh, whatever, all's well that ends well. You weren't really needed in this part, so that's fine. You know who was needed instead? We have Rue. Rue, just as kind of Ahiru is mentioning her, walks into this house, and we follow along and peer inside. And yeah, I mean, we saw the preview, we saw last week. Muto's a bird boy now, hence why there's all those ravens outside his room as well. So very clearly here we're bringing up a classic literary dichotomy of man and beast. The most proud and noble of princes versus, whatever this is. He's all, disheveled and whatnot. He's not uptight. He's not proper dressed. It's Beauty and the Beast a little bit too. It's all that same kind of thing that we're pulling from. This going along with the prince's descent away from his normal role and ethics over to something that's, a little bit more mean and ugly. It all just fits. I feel like this form change could have jumped the shark somewhat, but it hasn't. It's working for me. That being said, the thing that does jump the shark for me only slightly is his voice. Hearing his Prince voice come out of this form is a little bit jarring. Maybe could have put some filters over it or something. Even changed up the voice actor just for this episode. I think that would have enhanced it. Or maybe we're trying to say something there too. Like he's still the prince deep down inside. He's still got that same voice. That same authorial voice, He's still in control deep down. Once again, the whole, trying to eat the mouse thing is just that same kind of bestial descent type idea. Away from nobility. Yeah, absolutely, this Beauty and the Beast idea for sure. Because, you'd be disgusted if you saw, your beloved change forms into something not quite right and start, eating mice and jumping around and being a freak, just in general. Any normal person would be disgusted and run away and stuff. But no, you see through, you see underneath the skin to the prince that's deep down inside there. You loved him and you trusted him the entire time. That's why that kind of pure love thing works at the end of the episode. That kind of proclamation breaks the curse, Kind of reminds me of another character that, that has a form change into something broadly aviary. Maybe there's another character in the show that turns into a bird. And there you would call it descent later on, next episode. What is that going to be met with by the other character? Full acceptance. Fakir fully accepts Duck, our hero. So they kind of mirror each other in a lot of ways, I would say. Yeah. Very, very, very well written show. Even now, they just still want to share a dance. The same thing that we did all the way back when, me in my infancy, you as this prince fresh out of the story, we danced together. Still doing that even now. We went to dance school together. Still dancing even now. It's the thing that unites us and connects us through our entire relationship. But there's such a sorrow to the way that Rue dances. She's so genuine here in these last few episodes. It's really easy to root for her. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, right? It's the thing that unites us from all the way before times. This is really funny now in retrospect as well. Fakir and Rue have been fighting over Muto for ages. Stealing him away, hiding him away while Fakir looks for him. That's just wonderful. Yeah, we really do nail this Rue Muto relationship right here at the 11th hour. This whole idea of the prince that is loved by everybody, wanting to possess his love entirely and not spread it with anybody else's, it is inherently kind of selfish, but that's also what love is, right? You can't let this guy be out on the town with everybody. That's no good. It's an emotion with both light and darkness in it, and the Raven does a great job of harnessing the darkness of it and using it for its own schemes and stuff. The whole Raven's blood idea. It's all on the proviso that he will be mine and mine alone. Again, you're not wrong. You just got corrupted. You got misguided by somebody. Really love this design on Claire as well. It's noticeably younger, but it's that point where she's first entering, school and is first getting given the task. I just think it's a nice subtle kind of in between of both the Rues we've seen. And yeah, even now you see the Raven planting the seeds. It's you go out to the human world, befriend him, love him, do all these other kind of things. get him to love you back, bring me his heart shard, and then we can start preparing marriage. It's all lies, damn it, it's lies. Once again, this same trio disapproving Fakir. It's very funny to me. It just fits perfectly with their initial motivations in the story. It's like that puzzle piece, right? It's like that's that perfect spot. You know, Fakir not wanting the prince to be called the prince, and Rue obviously leaning that direction a little bit more. We now see what this is all about, and the sets of knowledge that they both have at this time, which we, the audience, when watching, didn't have. I've got my own separate plan over here. You've got your own separate plan over here. It's all involved in our fate in the story and everything. What were the two halves of the story called again? The chapter of the egg and the chapter of the chick, something like that. This is when we've broken out of that shell in the second half and are able to look back on this and see how constricted we were. Not even sure of the force that was outside that was manipulating us to feel this way. You know, both Drosselmeyer and the Raven. We have the explanation here as well that in those early episodes, Rue didn't want to believe that she was the Raven or associated there, and that she had weirdo motivations for being with Muto, so she just sealed them, she forgot about them, and they slowly re-emerged over time. This is a weird turn as well. Rue breaks down in tears upon thinking that, no, I'm not the Raven's daughter, I'm not Crare, I'm not the Crow Princess, I'm just a regular human girl who has no hope of being with the prince. So whilst, again, all this Crow stuff, or the Raven stuff, is a shackle for her, it's also the thing that gave her importance. She thinks that she would be nothing and not involved at all if it wasn't for the father's presence, you know? Which couldn't be any further from the truth, right? Like, she wins in the end of this episode through, like, a proclamation of her, like, humanity, her love, the thing that unites us all, right? Like, she specifically won by going against the Raven and its wishes. Like, you don't owe the Raven anything. He didn't give you any special importance. You're special because you're Rue. Comes from internal, you know? Then Muto asks her to dance one more time. Rue escapes, runs away, bursts into tears. Of course, she's going through some shit. Probably isn't that crash hot about seeing, you know, my prince in a Raven form. It's probably conjuring some weird emotions for me. I want to get out of there. And Ahiru follows in turn to try to save her. Get some more info. And once again, love Ahiru, our protagonist through this whole part. You know, Rue's been an adversary this entire time. She's been the villain at times, the antagonist. Surely there's some bone in your body that wants to look at her, have this all blow up in her face, and to laugh at her. You know, a bit of schadenfreude there. Not really, that's not how she goes. For the entire time, you weren't Crare to her, you were Rue. And Rue's a friend, and I would never laugh at a friend like that. And instead of wallowing in that at all, she's just straight to business, talking about the 5 gates and the heart shards and everything. Like, you've just been an open door the entire time, a set of open arms ready for her to come back. Just very lovely. Tugs at the heartstrings. Either way, after saying this plan to essentially unseal the Raven, Rue says, fuck no. The prince, according to what the Raven's planning, will be eaten by the Raven upon this happening. Ahiru seems confident he'll transform back to himself, but Rue doesn't seem to like it. It's her fear. It's her fear that she'll lose everything in doing so. It's that kind of final, you know, leap of faith almost. It's that jump out of the nest for her, metaphorically. She doesn't want to take that extra step, and she'd rather just be safe. It's that same thing with all our talk next episode about disliking an ending and not wanting things to end and all that other kind of stuff. This hesitation and this stagnation is the entire thing that Drosselmeyer wants. You know, this is his philosophy personified. Just stumbling over what-ifs instead of actually going and doing something and progressing the plot. Because once again, it benefits Drosselmeyer if things are just the same forever. You know, ending the conversation by Rue saying that if she was Princess Tutu, she would never give the heart back. She would never fully free the prince. But again, is that going against what the prince wants, ultimately? Because he wants to have his heart back and to go back into the story and do his bit. He wants to be done with it. I don't know. I understand why Rue says that. It is not correct. And yeah, Drosselmeyer watching the entire time, being a bit of a stinker. Very, very happy with what Rue had to say there. Approving of that, right? Hey, you've thrown some hesitation into Ahiru's heart once again. Thanks for that, Rue. You're like helping me perpetuate this thing. Hard-hitting analysis time once again. Uzura is cute. Gonna keep saying it because it continues to be true. She has some choice moments these 2 episodes for sure. Really like this scene here where she consults with Edel. I like how she isn't quite sure what's going on either. I just think that's adorable. Like, Edel's trying her best to get everything across, but she's cryptic at the best of times, so I'm not sure it's all getting through there all the time. She gives us a heads up here, basically, but we see this telltale shine on the necklace of Ahiru. She has a heart shard. There's a heart shard in here the entire time. So the way I understand it is that heart shards are associated with emotions, correct? The emotion that was the Princess Tutu heart shard the entire time was the part of the prince's heart which wanted his heart back, if that makes any sense. So you know how all these side characters have been pursuing whatever emotion it is that is part of Muto? This is hers. It makes perfect sense. It's been her #1 goal this entire time to collect them, because that is the prince's want, right? Like, that's why the prince's message there has resonated so much with her, you know, during the second call whenever he's like, I just want all my heart back. Because that's literally what you believe. It's the basis for me being a human right now is believing that. That's why it's resonated so much. Yeah, astounded by that. That's a very, very good reveal that just makes a lot of things make sense once again. Once again, Otur is annoying. He's just like mad excited after Fakir tells him a bunch of exposition stuff. He's like, oh my god, superheroes are real. Like, that's essentially his energy here, I would say. He's kind of just fanboying out. It's kind of endearing, a little bit. So basically, at your current level, Fakir, you can't compete with Drosselmeyer, especially like story head-to-head. You're not going to prosper there. We see this, you know, literally play out next episode where they have like a story off, where Drosselmeyer literally comes in and harnesses Fakir's power to change reality for the worse, to literally like kill Ahiru. It's crazy. So that's where we're left with those two, basically, because a lot of the last part here is just kind of Muto, Ru, Ahiru, right? Kind of Otur and Fakir are just off training, arcing, doing, you know, figuring out story stuff. Azura enters here and says, are you going to stop being Ahiru? My other self told me that. I would be very confused as well, but I know what she means. You're going to lose your human form if you keep going down this route, basically. You're not going to be able to be Tutu or Ahiru anymore. You're just going to be a duck. And that makes Azura sad, because we're friends. You know? There's something definitely here with this whole Edel Azura thing for sure. Like you being reborn and being so pure in all of it. I was thinking about this today at work as well. Like, we're associating Edel as like this puppet to be controlled. To me, a lot of what she says has a lot to do with, you know, that tree from previous episodes. I think that was in various YouTube comments. So to me, Edel feels like an agent of reality that is being literally puppeteered and manipulated by Drosselmeyer, right? Like the natural order is Edel. It's just been corrupted and pushed and pulled in a weird way to Drosselmeyer's needs, right? So in the wake of that, we're burning away this wooden puppet, this natural order thing, and as a result of that, we're getting little Azura, who is, that means quail, right? We get a little bird, a little piece of life from that decay, from that burn away. Like, it's literally like reincarnation, metaphorically personified throughout her entirely. Like it's very complex. I like that. Just lots of good stuff there about rebirth and second chances, and, you know, even relationships that span between different lifetimes between these two as well. Once again, it's just all very beautiful. And great reveal here where we have Duck Ahiru listening to Azura's heart, where we literally like converse with Edel for a bit. Like, it's like, hey, Azura's having trouble getting across what I want to get across, and I'm cryptic at the best of times. What if I just took over for a little bit and had a little chat? And yeah, it's like what I was saying, the pendant, Princess Tutu pendant, it's the last of the Prince's heart shards. And then we have this foreboding line right here at the end too. Whether or not the duck returns that heart shard depends on her own will. What she's, you know, fighting against, this thing that Drosselmeyer has set up, which is your motivation, your struggle. Can you simply let it go, or are you too devoted to that? Once again, that question I led in with it as well, like, how much of that is you and how much of that is Drosselmeyer? And we don't know. We don't know, you know? And yeah, once again, the split of Edel and Uzura, We have Edel, very matter of fact, still carrying in it though, but, you know, here's the go, here's what's doing on. And then Uzura is like her heart. It's the emotional side. It's the part of Edel that doesn't want to let Ahiru go, that had some affection for her before the end. And, you know, I'm going to miss you, basically. Love, love, love that. Small little moment here, her teardrops falling and hitting the drum. To me, that's just hilarious. I don't know if that's sad for anybody, but I just think that's a great bit. Yo, why is Drosselmeyer's eyes so red there? It looks like he's been fucking token out. Smoking up a storm in the place out of time. That's crazy. But once again, we like his disapproval here. Whenever we see stuff like this, there's a great example later on of like him reacting. It's stuff like not going to plan. Like, oh my god, I can't believe Edel stuck her nose in and revealed something before I wanted to at the very end. Oh well, no matter, it won't change anything. Now we're back with Muto. Things are getting worse and worse. That struggle, it's taking over him and causing him to dance. Once again, I just thought it was very funny, where he's just like in agony and then pirouettes and then in agony and then prances over this way. This is also where we're playing that dance macabre as well. Death being the thing that unites us, being a raven being the thing that unites us, raven symbol of death. It's all coming together. It means that, again, that climax is coming to the fore. One thing I really liked here, I don't know if this is intentional at all, but there's a pattern of an hourglass on this door. So much of the theming here being about time and about Drosselmeyer and about like that clockwork dimension, that all connects very well. I seem to remember an hourglass being on the table when Ahiru was visiting Drosselmeyer last episode. As well as, again, it's an hourglass without any sand in it. It is stasis, right? It is just like something staying still. Or I'm overanalyzing a door, but we'll never know what the truth is. Once again, this is just another expression of that same theme we saw before. It's that contrast between beast and man. He dances elegantly like a prince, and he rushes out and he flies away and he lashes out like a beast, like a raven, right? Once again, it's the outward portrayal of the struggle. It's making Rue feel all the more guilty. You're only going through all of this suffering because of what I did to you, because of the raven's blood. Just so much regret and sorrow through Rue in this portion of the story. You know, your heart that loved everybody, I've ruined it with these very hands. Just so truly sorry, which I'm very happy that she gets the ending that she gets, or at least so far, you know. So again, just on a base level, Rue is overall just afraid of what will happen based on her actions if we unleash all the gates. Like, the Raven will come back, and then, you know, who knows what's going to happen. Probably the prince is going to get eaten, and I'll feel guilty. It'll all be my fault. I was tricked and corrupted by the Raven. Gave him all the blood, it was on a false pretense. I would feel awful about that. That's when Tutu comes in here, armed with the knowledge that she just gained, that I am also one of the prince's heart shards. Getting all of the heart back is the prince's own will. I myself am testament to that. So therefore, we need to trust in the prince and what he truly wants in all of this to get us out of this thing. If we trust in that, we'll be fine. And I guess that's the circuit breaker for Rue as well. She's always been concerned about, you know, possessing his love and wanting all of his love and everything. But it becomes this point where Rue finally makes that choice of like, no, but what does the prince want? And trusting in his will and loving him regardless is the thing that like breaks that curse, like metaphorically. Good. Very, very well done. Very astute. Once again, when it can pause and slow down, it all makes a whole lot more sense. So it's this moment where we're both going to believe in the prince and his will, unleash all these gates, and trust that he won't be corrupted and fall to that other side, that his purity will break through, that ongoing arm wrestle within him will result in victory on our side. Love the scale here. Haven't really talked much about the production of the episode, but this part here is pretty stellar, where the raven rises up from underneath. There's such a scale to it, and like it's almost like a monster movie. It's like Godzilla's here or something. It's great. It definitely lives up to the billing that we've been having for the Raven, it being like this all-powerful, all-conquering thing, you know. Again, love the zoom out here. It feels like a diorama of the town we see. Once again, it feels like Drosselmeyer's point of view in a lot of ways, that he's just like controlling the entire board, that he has just like the town in front of him and he's moving the pieces wherever he wants. And these heartshards come out and they're pissed. They're like, oh my god, this is the prince? This is what happened to him? Oh, Well, we're probably going to get returned to him, and he's probably just going to feed himself to the Raven. We lost. Fuck. They have, like, no faith. And yeah, the final promise here is interesting, too. So, if we all go into him, and he doesn't return to being himself, don't return that final heart shard. Because I think that'll ruin everything. Then you'll disintegrate and turn into dust or whatever. And he'll also get eaten. We need something else to pull him back from the brink. If that happens, please find a way to lift the curse quickly. Inconspicuous shot of Rue as well. Yeah, that's what breaks the Raven's curse, is Rue, ultimately. The one that put it on in the first place, you know? Yeah, I mean, and from here, like, I've been basically just talking about it all episode. Raven revives, looks sick, and, Muto rushes on over and tries to kill himself, tries to feed himself to the Raven. Love this for Claire, ultimately, as well. Like, she's been, like, under domination by the Raven. Like, he's been controlling everything for so long, since she was so very young, ruining everything for her, ruining her chances of having a happy, normal life as well, being brought in by this weirdo and corrupted and stuff. Her small acts of defiance and questioning all along this core of the show, culminating with her having Arthur in the palm of her hands and her not sacrificing him. This is the final culmination. It's her literally fighting against the Raven. It's what we wanted to see. It's Rue taking over. It's no longer Kreia, it's Rue. You know, great moment. Oh yeah, love this too. Okay, so she's been drinking his noble blood ever since you were a babe, but in the end you're still a human deep down. Like, we go into this later on with Muto's motivation, like realizing that this is the struggle that's within me, that's been going on within Rue this entire time, and she's been dealing with it. How strong that must be. He just gains so much respect for her in the wake of that. I think that's really beautiful. Like this thing that's been tearing me apart, you've been doing that the entire time. I, like, respect you for that. Some great quick montage stuff here as well. Some great, you know, Muto-Rue moments. You know, remember when they were dancing at the bonfire? It seems so long ago, so quaint. I suppose this is maybe where I get a little bit critical, and this is really harsh. Maybe her performance here is a little bit overwrought. Just a touch. I don't know. I guess it does command it, and it talks to a purity and a desperation of the love there that enhances the scene, but I'm always going to be one for subtlety over something like this. But it's Tutu, I don't know. It's definitely very harsh. I don't know. But yeah, it's that final confession, I've always loved you, which is the thing that breaks the curse. It's as fairy tale as ever, and it hits super hard. I love it. Love this as a choice. Spoilers for Utena. That's enough time for people to maybe pause and leave. The end of Utena is very similar, where it's just this, like, stupefyingly basic feeling at the base level of it, which I found really profound. So Utena's a bunch of bullshit, but on a base level, I just love you and want the best for you and want to save you and stuff. And the real you, not any other part of you that's been generated by somebody else. Yeah. Simple. All you need is love, you know? Love this moment here from Tutu. So the prince is reawakened. Great. First instinct is to go over to Tutu and be like, person that's helped me like 20 times throughout the show, did you help me this time? And she shakes her head. But there's also a sadness there, which I think emphasizes or enhances next episode, right? Which is all about, you know, her finally letting go and progressing towards that ending and coming to terms with the end of Tutu and the end of Muto and, you know, that relationship there. She's happy and sad at the same time, feeling a little bit melancholic. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed that it wasn't me that saved you, that I'm not your chosen one, but Rue is, and I'm willing to stand aside and let you two be the thing. I don't know, just, this show is very good at taking still frames sometimes and just talking for hours about them. It's very good at that. Next episode time now, and once upon a time there was a man who died. The man had the power to make stories come true, so his hands were cut off by the people who were afraid of tragedies becoming reality. When the man died, the people heaved a great sigh of relief. However, when his hands were cut off, the man had been writing a story in his own blood. That's kind of fucking metal, so his hands come off and then he's still, like, writing. It's fucking epic. And then, yeah, it's the story of a man that would continue to spin stories even after his death. So, Drosselmeyer dies, he still writes a story using his power, using his own blood, to make sure that he can be the man that writes stories forever and is basically God. This power seems very strong, of being a storyteller. Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about before. It's just like Drosselmeyer watching the events transpire, and like the Prids come back and not get eaten, and Tutu not sacrifice herself, and any of this stuff that I planned just like not happening. Like the story's just going completely off script, and he's just shocked. That's hilarious, man. So essentially his plan was the words of love. The confession was supposed to come from Tutu, and she was supposed to burst into dust and do that whole side of things, but, you know, save her in the process. That was what I had written, but it's going against script. No matter, I didn't know that Claire had it in her, but sure. However, you cannot escape tragedy, little duck. I'm going to find you, and you're going to perish just like you're supposed to. And that becomes his goal this episode, to right that wrong. As is the episode's namesake as well, the Dying Swan. I feel like I'm being like a little bit too analytical here sometimes. Sometimes the show's just sweet. I like Rue making a little crown. I like deep confessions of love and proclamations and everything. I really like all the stuff that happens later on with Fakir and Ahiru. That's all just very strong to me. And, I don't know, it doesn't need to have all this backing sometimes. Sometimes you just feel it in your heart. That's absolutely the case here. It's getting me the feels, this ending. What we also highlight in that montage there is Rue's transition away from what she was very early in the show, which was, hey, say you love me. And then, of course, Muto, being very robotic, would be like, yeah, I love you, why not? She told me to say it, I'll say it. Before his heart started coming back to him, she started to resent that, she was losing control, blah, 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 rest of the show happens. It shows full development for Rue. Now it's no longer, say you love me, it's I love you. It's a move away from selfishness and wanting to possess his love entirely to selflessness. I love you just like everybody else loves you from the bottom of my heart. That being the thing to break the Raven's curse? Absolute cinema. Very, very good. Very cohesive character development. So yeah, then the Raven vores Rue, which is no good. She's alive deep within his stomach. Very cool detail. So yeah, she's fine. We'll go get her next episode. It's time to put a stasis on things and like a temporary ceasefire almost, you know. We do get some great moments here of Muto finally being able to like prince out. He is like 99% of himself now, so he's the hero from the story. He's fucking cool. He's very, very good at this combat thing. Yeah, it's just kind of sick to see some nice action in the middle of things. But let me do the setup. So, okay, I've swallowed Rue. You clearly care for Rue. You love Rue. Rue loves you. Great. I'm going to ensnare her and trap you and force you to become the full prince if you want to save her. And then we'll battle and I'll try to devour you and whatever else. Sound good? Sound good. So, what do we need for that to happen? We need Tutu to rescind that final heart shard and for you to be fully restored. And again, that's where we run into our snag, where she can't pull off that necklace and pull through there. Did I mention the action's good too? It's very good. This is the part I really liked from before when I was talking about, like, you know, he understands the pain of having your heart eaten away by the Raven's blood. She ingested that shit every day. She's way more, like, strong than me, if she can resist that for that long. And I want to repay the faith there, so hey, Tutu, give me the damn heart shard. So once again, you would look at this and you'd be like, okay, potentially the prince here is disregarding Ahiru's feelings a little bit and being a little bit flippant with them. Hey, let me literally take your power from you, your ability to be Tutu and to be a girl, right? Take both of those things and enhance my power so I can go save your romantic rival. Like, I understand why there's something subconsciously for Tutu which is stopping her from giving it over. Like, when you frame it like that, it's kind of crazy. But what do we know about Ahiru as well? She loves Rue. She'll do anything for Rue as well. Which is kind of really cute now, too, because, like, Tutu and Ahiru has been part of the prince's heart the entire time, so there was part of the prince's heart that really, truly loved Rue and thought that she was a human the entire time, too. Aww. Come on. Love it. Yeah, just imagine the big, complex swirl of emotions happening here right now. That hearing his impassioned speech about how much he loves Rue. Like, deep down, maybe you thought that Tutu and the prince were going to be a thing? Somewhere? deep down there, you know? If possible, I'd love to take Rue as my princess. So, Princess Tutu, give me the last heart shard. And yeah, she says yes, and then goes to give it to him, and then she can't, basically. What does that mean? Is that Drosselmeyer? Is that her? We'll never know. And yeah, the delay from Tutu not being able to give over that shard has created this ceasefire. Rain and darkness, you know, covers the city. It's Raven Rain too. It's going to turn you into some damn ravens. You have till dawn to, you know, have your answer, to give it over and all that. So one of the pieces of symbolism I really love here as well is like this looks like the stalk and like a flower coming out. It's just a bud that's closed right now that will bloom into, you know, the prince later on. It's from that light, it's from that sun that makes you open up and, you know, see everything like a flower, right? It's Tutu's light as opposed to the raven's darkness that causes the bud to open. It's that final piece of the puzzle. It's that final piece of the thing that, again, lets the flower bloom. It's just very clever. Also, again, it's just like got like raven faces in it too. It's really sick. And like wings, the wings creating like the leaves of the stem. Top tier like design stuff. It is just very funny to me that the entire time we've just been like having writer's block in this room and drinking tea and stuff when like big picture Rue stuff is going on outside, you know. Either way, it creates a great framing device for the reveal of the Raven, you know, townsfolk. Author just looking outside and seeing them all. Great. It's you can definitely tell it's like blood rain too here too. Once again, this is very reminiscent of some of that dance macabre type theming that we had from last episode. Everybody dancing together to that same tune of death. The thing that unites us all is our ravenhood. Very cool. Hey, maybe that prince who has a dark and a light side that was fighting within him, maybe all of that is reflected within ourselves as well. Shoutouts to PK and Lily Crows, as well as Neko Sensei Crows. Good for a bit of levity, even at this 11th hour. Very, very funny. And this, my friends, is where Drosselmeyer starts to play a little bit dirty. So, we now have a ceasefire. Tutu runs away, becomes Ahiru, struggles to take off that necklace, what gives? Drosselmeyer stops her over there. At this same point, Drosselmeyer also visits Fakir and gets him to do some unsavory things. So once again, there's some great elements here. Of course, Otto is the Drosselmeyer fanboy. He doesn't get to see Drosselmeyer, time's frozen, so he can't see his idol. That's very funny. But once again, doing like this grandfather clock opening and Drosselmeyer coming out of the coffin type idea. Very strong. Done it multiple times throughout the show. I love Drosselmeyer entering this room and seeing all these like pieces of memorabilia of him and stuff and being like, yeah, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. You were just a mere imitation of the power that I possessed. I'm the special one, you know? He comes in here big dick swinging against Fakir. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. He's trying to show who's the big dog in town. Like, why do you waver about writing something? I would never waver given such an opportunity. And this whole time as well, Drosselmeyer is just like funny. Your problem, Fakir? You're too responsible. You gotta write with a lot more like reckless abandon. And just write whatever you think sometimes. That's where the true power comes from. Just be a little bit crazy. That's the idea. He's right though, he should write from the heart, and he only ever sees any success when he does write from the heart, you know? When he writes about potentially somebody that possesses his heart. Something. Just my 2 cents. Drosselmeyer here also turns into a plasma television and helps to tell Fakir what's been going on, because again, he's just been inside practicing the entire time. Hilarious. I don't know if that's funny to anybody else. That's hilarious to me. And now, this is probably my favorite scene. No, the last scene of last episode was very good too, but this is a very good scene. It's Drosselmeyer, like, taking control of Fakir's writing ability by proxy. Just, like, showing how powerful his ability to manipulate reality is. Like, I can specifically do this to torture you and to big bro you, you know. He starts annotating here, right? He's like, you know, it was the lake called despair, it was dark and deep, just like Ahiru's eyes. There's also some storyception stuff too. So we remember just before this scene started, like, Ahiru got a call from Drosselmeyer basically, like everything stopped and he entered scene. That's what we're writing on the piece of paper even now. So that scene we saw before this scene started, was already happening courtesy of this scene. It's almost like we flash back to see its origins and see how, you know, Drosselmeyer manipulated it. It's almost like Drosselmeyerception, where Drosselmeyer goes to Fakir to write a story about how Drosselmeyer goes to Ahiru and tells her to do some stuff. So again, how much of this is Drosselmeyer manipulation? How much of this is actually genuinely Ahiru's feelings? The reason you can't go return the final heart shard is because you're scared to let go of Princess Tutu. And of course, scared to part with Princess Tutu because then you'll part with the prince, you'll part with Ru, you'll part with Fakir, you'll part with everybody. And remember her plight from the very beginning. Being the ugly duckling, wishing to dance with the prince. That dream will never be fulfilled if you give over this heart shard now. There's something deep down inside you that is still holding you back. And that gets a bit hazy, because again, fucking Drosselmeyer is a bit of a villainous guy. He's like, in order to take off the pendant, the best thing for you to do would be to actually kill yourself, so go ahead and drown yourself in this lake. And then this part here, right, Ahiru began to sink into the lake of despair, walking further and further in. It's crazy, right? Because this is like literally by Fakir's hand. He's like literally being forced to kill his beloved, essentially, before he forces himself to stop by stabbing himself in the hand. Literally putting his own blood on the line, writing his own story in blood from the very intro as well. Absolute peak. Absolute peak. It's what a fantastically like blended scene as well. Love all the fades and everything. All the different feelings going across. Just perfectly legible for such a confusing scene. Is that a piece of symbolism too, maybe, as well? He, like, stabs himself with a little, you know, blade here that has a hawk or an eagle on it or something. Any thoughts there, chat room? Once again, we hate Author. Even during this moment here, he seems more engrossed in the fact that Drosselmeyer was in this room than anything to do with your bleeding hand or the story being written or Ahiru being in danger. Just a fanboy to the end, aren't ya? Like, that's magnificent that he was here. Shut the fuck up. Fakir should have hit him. There is one part here I like for Author, though. Just as, Fakir's about to leave and do his thing, there is a moment where he thinks on Ru. Oh, shit. Crows. I wonder if she's okay. I wonder if, Ru's doing alright. I don't know, one likability point, we'll take it. And yeah, from here we have our episode's climax. We have Ahiru sinking further and further down, Uzura meeting up with Fakir and bringing him over to the scene so we can save her. There's a really tragic scene here too, just Ahiru apologizing for, you know, taking this way out as well, but also apologizing for you know, not being able to give it away myself, for these selfish feelings taking hold within me and not giving the kind of pendant over sooner. I apologize, Ru. I apologize, Muto. I wish I could have been a better person, selfless enough to give this over. Once again, really love Azura here. The drums just, it's classic, isn't it? Loving her keeping the pace and like playing faster when she's running along. There's a lot of symbolism here, of course, of breaking the seal here, leaving the city finally. What's on the other side? It's weird that I've never thought about leaving before. Must have been Drosselmeyer's effect and his curse. Kind of pondering about Drosselmeyer and his overall power as you're rushing to save Ahiru from Drosselmeyer's BS is definitely a choice as well. Like, shit, I've been under his spell the entire time I didn't notice it. There's like levels to this. The story here is even starting to spread beyond the walls. May talk to Drosselmeyer's plans for world domination, maybe. And yeah, Fakir's straight in there, dives in and tries to save Ahiru. I think he notes here that he can breathe underwater as well, so it's like a weird fantasy lake. We'll go for it. I thought I was doing my best for Muto's sake, but I was just being selfish. Just like Drosselmeyer-san said, I'm really thinking that I don't want to return Muto to the story. So yeah, once again, I want to take a full step back and talk about how cool this is from this overall idea of fate and what Drosselmeyer's plan is. Drosselmeyer underestimates his characters at every turn, basically. He thinks that they're one note, and he thinks that they're not fully people that can make their own decisions and whatever. He thinks that they will fully just succumb to their fate and do their little job. He thinks that they're going to be like those people that are on the cuckoo clock, that they'll come out and they'll perform right on time and they'll do their little spins and go back right to where they were. Like my little dolls to control, right? And though it is difficult, right, though it hurts to let go, letting go is ultimately the thing that will lead to his defeat and free everybody and allow everybody to start making their own decisions. And for their stories to start moving forward as well. No more stasis, no more struggle, no more anything else, just actually living. I think that is like Princess Tutu as a show's like thesis statement. Like, fight against your fate, find out what it means to live. As broad as that is. It's this really vulnerable moment for Ahiru as well, as she struggles within herself about what she really wants here, you know, what she should want, what the prince wants, what she's been saying the entire time, and maybe the part that she hasn't been saying, the part that's dormant deep within her, that is her desire to continue to be Tutu and to be with the prince. And yeah, I'm thinking it's because I don't want the story to end, she says. I don't want PK and Lily and Neko-sensei and the others to leave me. I know they've all turned into crows, but still. I guess it's refreshing to see Tutu, who has been, like, very protagonisty through the whole thing. Very perfect. Like, good job, Ahiru. Her to finally show a little bit of vulnerability and a little bit of weakness at this juncture is really, really, like, cool to me. I think it's enhancing her character quite a bit, that there's been, like, this layer underneath. Also, this might be super obvious for everybody, but I just got this. This is, like, the Uno reverse of what Tutu's been doing to every single other character in the show. Like, taking on their problem, understanding their struggle, talking them through it, dancing it out, getting that heart shard from them, and ultimately giving it over to the prince. Like, Fakir is taking Tutu's role in doing so, in kind of dancing it out of her and, you know, working her way through the problem. This is, like, Ahiru's very own Princess Tutu episode, if you know what I mean. Like, it helps to play off of that episodic structure that's been present throughout the rest of the show. I think it's really promising for Fakir's character development as well, that he's fallen into the shoes of Tutu and is able to complete that and able to, again, just be very gentle with somebody and talk them through this problem. All it's missing, of course, is Fakir to put on the dress. That would have solidified things. But yeah, very smart show. That's definitely like the broad point of the episode as well, I would say. And yeah, Fakir's words here. Nobody wants the story to end. Nobody but Muto. But we have to put our trust in him, like you said. Like, basically not wanting to let go of this is the thing that unites all of us but Muto. So, let's unite together and dance one final time and see if we can't push through. There's the other part of this as well, that, like, everybody is scared to return to their true selves. Because there won't be this guise to hide behind anymore. There won't be this mask of Tutu. There won't be this role of the knight. We'll just have to be us. And even if deep down you're just a duck, and even if deep down I'm just some guy, we're just going to have to live with that. We won't have the importance that the story and the prince gave us, but, you know, we'll be free. We'll be free. Once again, I really don't want to undersell this moment. It's very, very good. Like, this moment where these two characters that have been troubled through the entire thing finally unite and dance together on this subject of, like, accepting each other's weaknesses, you know? Like, hey, I accept who I really am. I accept who I... And, like, again, we need to get rid of these roles, so if we're not happy with who we are deep down, we can then change it on our own accord. We don't need some god Drosselmeyer guy to do it for us, you know? I don't need to be granted his power to be Tutu and to be a real girl and all this stuff. I'll just find my own way to create my own happiness from within, you know? Isn't that what being a human's about? I think so. And Fakir says that he'll stay by Ahiru's side forever. I'm choosing to see it as a confession. I think you have to, right? Ahiru accepting her own weakness, but realizing that Fakir makes her feel stronger. Gazing deeply into each other's eyes. You closing your eyes and like pouting your lips a little bit? Kiss, damn it! Like, what the... I'm being fucking pranked. I want him to kiss. Why didn't they kiss? Even when she goes out into, like, the splits here. This is that's a crazy tease, no? Especially if they don't kiss next episode. Anyway, we did it. Her necklace fell off. Great job, everybody. I got all caught up in the shipping again. So, this part here. What do I think about this? I think it's cool. Like, okay. Drosselmeyer's, like, last-ditch effort here is to be like, hey, both of you like Rue, right? Rue's struggling. She's gonna die. If you give up your respective roles, right, as the knight and as Princess Tutu, then who's gonna save Rue? You gotta go save her. You say, no, I rescind my role. I'm not gonna do that anymore. That's the prince's role. Again, the proof's in the pudding of the speech you just did, basically. If we're gonna be happy being just regular Joe Blow schlum guys... schlumbos, then we're going to need to be okay with not saving the girl in front of us, right? Even though it's tempting for me to, you know, go into Tutu form and go do it and me to activate my stuff and go do it as well, leave it to Muto. I don't know, it really feels like Drosselmeyer grasping at straws as well, just trying to see if he can convince them not to do this again. Also, Azura is very helpful. She was playing her drum on the shore and that led us to where we need to go. It feels very similar to Edel being the light during episode 13 and leading us out of the catacombs there. Remember that? That feels very similar to me, actually. Aww. And yeah, really getting towards that pointy end now, but we have Azura being all pouty and not wanting to let go. I think it's very cute. She's just, yeah, I don't know. Any people have a little sister? I'm sure that's kind of what it's like, you know. Even this part, she runs and she has her arms out. Look at that. You can't say no to that. Come on, that's 10 out of 10. And yeah, here's the trifecta as well. So we had Fakir writing the story to help Tutu escape from Drosselmeyer's realm. We had him writing the story about her going into the lake and doing all that before, even if it was by Drosselmeyer's hand. And then him finally writing this story here, which is combining their powers and their want to save Muto and to give him the final heart shard. So again, Fakir's using his power too. The Princess Tutu ran to return the last heart shard to the prince. She didn't do it for the prince, but for all people. When she thought about it that way, there was no more hesitation. What a fucking hero. She's doing it. I think it's really classy as well that we're doing this scene with the narration from Fakir too. It feels really cool. It feels like he's regaining control of his power, as opposed to that scene before where Drosselmeyer was using him, where he was the one narrating. Now Fakir's narrating, he's now fully in control and has progressed. Just, yeah, chef's kiss once again for this scene. Just the narration, man, so good. No accident here that she grew up into her own little tree here to free the prince. Looking at it again, you can almost see this as an egg as well, and this is a pseudo nest. That could definitely be part of the metaphor too. Love these lines here from Muto as well. I had no doubt that you would return. All of my feelings that you had given back to me confirmed to me that you would come without fail. My heart believed truly and fully that you would come through. Like you had come through for every single one of the other heart shards, the proof was in the pudding there. Once again, this word culmination, that's what it feels like. Love this line here from Fakir. Who knew he was such a good writer? So she hands over that pendant with the wings, right? Wings for the people who had spent a comfortable time inside the story to leave the nest with. So that's kind of what the town has been as well, right? This like kind of circular wall. That's been the metaphorical nest that we have, that now everybody gets to escape from. It's kind of what Fakir was doing earlier this episode when he escaped the town as well and went to save her. It's his kind of leap of faith and like escape from that, of course. And yeah, I don't need to tell you about the whole baby bird leaving the nest type idea and how that connects all the way back to the first episode and the prince thing with saving little birds and all that other kind of stuff. Just very, very thematically robust and consistent. It's time to break the world shell, everybody, and get the hell out of this place. So in a way, Drosselmeyer's story was correct. You did confess something to Muto and then disappear. Kinda. But there's the reveal as well. We finally find out that she's a duck, something that Muto hasn't known the entire time, we must remember. So of course he's going to be surprised. But of course, you know that he has the affection for the small animals as well. If anything, he's taken aback that something so small and gentle could do something like this. Like a small, fragile thing like you could change the world. With the prince getting down on one knee, bowing towards the bird, bowing towards, our hero. And then getting up and doing what needs to be done. And costume change. Oh my god. So yeah, now we're fully built up, basically. Sword comes together. 2 different swans. 2 different birds, think about it. I'm feeling this is like Fakir and Ahiru's like want for him to be this version of himself coming together and producing this sword. This sword that shouldn't exist, this sword that was shattered. Very strong. But yeah, this all serves as essentially build up for next episode, which is going to be that showdown. The Raven and the Prince, finally. So yeah, once again, it feels like we've done a lot of the heavy lifting here thematically already. Next episode should just be a walk in the park, right? Oh yeah, how is he going to fight, considering that Rue's in his stomach? What's he gonna do? Get down in her stomach as well? Or his stomach? Pause. I don't know about all that. I don't know. And now it just feels like Drosselmeyer's coping. This is what the very end here feels like. That You know, he's still talking about the knight and the princess, and shut up. We've moved beyond the need for you. Like, he's just grasping it's none of that shit's gonna happen. He's gonna win and you're gonna be without power anymore, buddy. So anyway, Drosselmeyer L. It's basically my hard-hitting analysis there. That was very, very, very good. And definitely shone on the rewatch like I thought it would have. Once again, I feel like I'm only scratching the surface. There's definitely more there to dig into. Very, very happy with the arcs and how they've been kind of followed through on in this finale. Particularly really loving what they've done with Rue and Ahiru, who are these kind of characters that I had some question marks over. You know, they've come good on them by the very end, absolutely. It's a very, very good show. Very good. But we'll save all that wrap-up stuff for next week. Patreon, if you want to be there right away, click on the link in the description. Only $6 a month. Get the finale 1 week early. And then it's new showtime. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if I'm just going to spin the wheel or if I'm going to run another poll. I'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe, all that other kind of stuff. I'll see you next time for the finale. Ciao. See you next time. Bye.